Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Jorge Flores, and I'm the host of the No Mods podcast. You can reach out to the podcast on Twitter at no underscore MODS009. You can reach out to me at adept underscore apron. And it's another good Monday. It's July 3rd. And I am recording this kind of late on a Monday, but as long as I post it on Monday, cheers to that. Oh, yeah. I'll preface it with July 3rd because tomorrow is 4th of July, which is a lot of festivities going on. I might end up going to the parade since I'm coincidentally off today and tomorrow. Um, so just to get back, touch base with you guys, I did try to record and then I realized I have a really old laptop that can't support any new operating systems. Is moral of the story. I'm trying to figure out how to record on YouTube. If not, I guess I know what I'm getting myself for my birthday. um, but yeah, other than that, I'm sorry about misleading you guys. I wish I could have recorded a lot sooner. Hopefully, I can record really soon or go live pretty soon. Um, I'm not sure what to do um, in regards to what I had planned. I might just commit to the idea and then live stream some other time, like do a Q&A or just do an activity. Um, but we got time to think about that. So, cheers to that. Oh man. Um, just a little bit. No, it's kind of tricky when you want to talk about a lot and realized that the episode might go to poop like the previous weeks, and that's why I took it off because I noticed there was an error. Um, and now I'm getting confused. This is the only catch about like trying to work out early in the morning is your brain power turns to mush by the end of the day. Like it's currently what like almost 5 p.m. My brain is exhausted. Um, but yeah, I mean, man, I'm just gassed out. Well, on top of that, it's not like that's the only thing I've done. Before I went to the gym, I actually walked the dog for like an hour because they needed it and they were very happy and they were more obedient than I thought. So, cheers to that. Oh my god. Ugh. But but yeah. So oh whoops. Oh man, I won't ever shot myself in the foot right now. You know what? I'm not gonna touch anything. We'll see what happens. Um, what was I gonna say? I'm in focus, but I'm not. It's like I'm alive, but I'm dead. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, in regards to like the gym, I remember seeing an Australian content creator where he's a bodybuilder and he came up with like a protein powered jjajangmyeon. If I'm saying that right, I'm not too sure, but it's like a Korean uh, black sauce noodles with veggies. So I made that for the rest of the week because this week or today I pretty much finished off whatever else I had in the fridge that was already made. Which, like I said, I think I just made beans and salsa. Which, fun fact, and it was something I was curious about trying, is that so I do have cilantro growing in the yard, and then I found out that cilantro in the yard, and most of it was flowering. So I got curious about what's gonna happen if I use it like in the salsa. And moral of the story, it's still pretty good. Like obviously the flower is gonna be a little more like concentrated cilantro, but the leaves were kind of just there as filler. So yeah, cheers to that. Oh, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, the pre-workout is probably what gassed me out the most because now I'm probably no, I shouldn't be crashing too hard. I think it's just my body's like starting to cool off. The adrenaline's gone away. I'm very chill. I mean, I'm doing chores. And I'm just like thinking about what I'm gonna do for the rest of the week because I made too much food. But it is what it is, and if I can eat it with rice, if that is, that's cool. Because I mean, I have enough noodles, but like I'm more of a rice person than a noodle person. So That was a dumb joke that I put together in my head. That's why I winked. Damn. All right, this is going really slow. But oh man, dude, I'm really gassed out. But 4th of July, man, crazy how I started this podcast at the beginning of the year, and now we're already halfway through, to the point where it's almost my birthday in a week. Exactly. Um, so kudos to that. I'm gonna be 28. Yeah, yeah, sounds about right. And yes, I forget my own age. You wanna know why? Cause I don't look at age unless I have to. Such as when you're renting a car, you need to be 22. Or like the new law that's been posted recently is that tobacco products are only available for those that are 21 and older, at least in the States. I know it varies around the world, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to get into that because I really got nothing about it. But something that was kind of triggered me this morning when I saw was I had forgotten. So when I went to culinary school, I did use a student loan, and I could have qualified for the student loan forgiveness until they started acting really weird. And but by the time they, how do you say it? By the time they decided to put out the program, I had pretty much used all the extra income that I had to pay it off. So I was like, okay, I'm set. And then there was a sketchy plan of like, oh, go ask your bank to return you X amount of money so you can get X amount of money back. So technically, at the end of the day, it would be about like, you would be doubling up on your money then. Wait, no, no, no. Well, technically, yeah, huh? Because of, yeah, more or less. But there were certain restrictions to how much money could be returned depending on your income and depending on what type of loan you had. And then they quickly backed out of it because I think some states wanted to tax the money that you were going to get, which makes zero sense because of, I guess, depending on the situation. But in my case, I shouldn't be taxed because I had already paid it off. So technically, my dollars were after tax. But then I guess the question would be the money that the government gives you would be da da da, which is why I got confused and I just committed to not paying it off or to just paying it off and leaving it as is because it sounded messy. And then a month later they decided, oh, you know what? This all happened right when I started around the podcast. So I'm not sure if this is a income driven podcast, but I guess it's not, right? No. But moral of the story is culinary school is expensive. Any education is expensive, to be honest. But the moral of the story is I decided to back away because it sounded really fishy. And then they eventually decided, okay, we're not taking any more requests, except for those that are having that had government positions, whether it be local, state, or federal. And then it would be anybody with a disability, is from what I understood. That's cool for them. I'm glad they got support. And I'm glad the people that managed to get the loan forgiveness, I'm kind of jealous of them. And then right now, they're still debating, and the news was that, that I guess the main reason there's been a lot of debate about how to go through with this is because of the simple fact that, which I guess makes sense, right? Like the rich are just trying to get richer, is the simple fact that, that is a siren. I don't know if you guys can pick that up, but um, the two people that they focus on were two people that come from a wealthy family, and one of them was mad because she wasn't working, meaning she wasn't generating enough money, but because her family made enough money, she wasn't getting any support, right? Which is debate, like, oh, who knows about her situation, but like, in that sense, it's like, why are you asking for money if you can just ask for someone else with money? Which I get that one. Then the other dude, I forget what happened with him, but it sounded more like, or his excuse was he felt like he was getting accused, or like he was being discriminated against, and I forget the reason why, but like that's kind of what it sounded like. But both those people had like ways to make the money or like the revenue, so it made zero sense. And it's people like that that are like preventing like middle class and lower to like get this loan forgiveness, which now what's going to make it more complicated is that since this began, are they going to reset when they who can apply for it, or are we still going to maintain the same people that applied? Because I did apply, and if I magically get $10,000, that'd be cool, but I doubt it. You know, that's insanely optimistic. So I don't know what to tell you. But if I get random money, that'd be dope. I did pay it in full. Doesn't mean I'm rich. That was a solid year's worth of salary. Am I currently broke? Mm-hmm. And we have that much in common. Cheers. Oh yeah. Oh, and that was it's not mine, not my cancer. But oh, you know what's funny is that I was wondering if they still sold mugs like this over at the Disney store, because I know this was when I was like 6, so like early 2000s. Disney store was selling these, and then I guess they did like a rerun in like 2010. But I guess some of them have a really good value, and I'm just glad it doesn't contain lead. Because I still remember that weird scare. Or I didn't know about it. I didn't really give a fuck because I was a little kid. But it did say like a lot of products had traces of lead, and that just because of I don't know why. I'm not getting into that one, but yeah. And that mug is really old. It's technically my mom's. I did steal her mug. Don't tell her. All right. I'm serious though. Don't tell her. If you do something, and you said don't tell my mom, I'll respect that. All right. Fucking. Muñeco parado, you know. Oh, anyway. But yeah. But I'm wondering why. Well, I guess Disney trips me out. So, you know what's funny? Speaking of Disney and the culinary industry, right? What I've heard is, give me a quick second. Is hold on. Let me link together everything. Apologies. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for supporting the podcast. ¿Qué iba a decir? Oh, so that's a story that I've heard. I don't know how true it is, but and things might have changed since COVID. So I had heard while I was in culinary school, one instructor say they knew a really, really talented chef that had an amazing job, and they decided to. My bad, I saw something bounce on the toolbar. Hopefully, it doesn't mess up with the recording again. But fuck, my bad, I got distracted. Where was I? Oh, talented chef, great restaurant. Heard there was an opening as a cook at one of the I think Disneyland, the park. He quit his top tier job in order to get an hourly job, even though technically I heard hourly they make really well. And then the story went that he got the job and that they have like annual raises, or like you have guaranteed raises, like periodic raises. And then on top of that you get bonuses, I think. I'm not too sure. But the point is that he took his hourly job and slowly started getting promoted until he became like a. I'm not even sure if he became a chef at Disneyland or what it was. But he ranked up, and then it was just a salary job. And I heard, as far as I know, that if you manage to get into like management in Disneyland, you're set for life. How true is that statement? I don't know. But I do like hearing those weird theories that Disneyland is secretly a bad place, and that's what makes it happy. Which, in theory, in order to maintain the force or the balance, you know, it does make sense that like a place where, well, actually, I think the Bratty kids balance the area, the whole energy out. But like the fact that like there's so much going on, like obviously there's gonna be like something shady, you know. What was I gonna say? But yeah, I don't know. I heard that. But it's probably a really tough job because I also heard like most of the cast has really tough like I heard they're very strict about it. You need to maintain a diet, an appearance, so on and so forth. And like, but like I've heard that they pay you well enough that you have no excuse, and that's kind of what they base it off of. And I don't know how true that is. I can't speak for that. Would I ever try to work at Disneyland? I don't know. How about you? What do you think? I don't think I would. I'm more of I think because my first working experience was at a restaurant bar or like bar and restaurant. I think I'd like to enjoy that a little bit more. And for the simple fact that like most of the time I've gone to Mexico, that's kind of what most places are, like a restaurant bar. So it's probably just my energy. It's a little more social, a little more relaxed. You can do it like some high end specials and stuff. Like you can work around it, or even like, oh my god, now I'm getting hungry. But I technically have what I'm thinking about, so I'll let it go. But I was gonna say like a pulled pork sandwich or like short braised short rib sandwich or like any braised meats, and like a nice beer, and then uh, um, but yeah, I don't know what are some good bar foods. That might be the challenge, because I mean bar foods are pretty simple. You can just do like, well, I guess you know what. I would search it up right now, but let's try to brainstorm, and then we'll look it up in a bit, right? Cause I'm thinking, right, bar foods. I know bar foods in the states. It's usually fries, nachos, um, maybe like sliders, um, loaded potatoes, like very dense foods, greasy foods. And then in Mexico would be like chips. I know sausages are a worldwide thing, like sausages, fries. Um, Mexico you would have like ceviche or like pues tostadas. Tostadas can vary. Cueritos. I don't know. No, I don't think they'd do that. I mean, I know I've heard that some people like to enjoy a nice dill pickle. I'm like, that's a little too much to me. Um, but I started thinking like, I wonder what are some international bar foods. I mean, oh, there's peanuts and stuff. Um, which I'm wondering if pub food is considered bar food, but technically a pub is its own um, bubble. Like some bangers and mash. Oh, and then I'm trying to think. Cause then the reason I thought internationally is because like I wonder what bar foods are in like Asian countries, cause I'm not too sure. Um, I think any type of like nut probably like on there. Probably some type of crackers. Um, as far as that, like, or do they rely on like street food and just like it's like a stall that serves drinks and then you just like do a street crawl down the street where you get like whatever street food they might have, you know? I don't know. I'm curious about what they got for street foods internationally. Oh, like grilled foods is probably like another like skewers. That's probably a pretty good one. And I'm generalizing pretty hard because I'm not too sure what other countries might have. But so far we got a variety of nuts, um, skewers, chicken skewers. Um, trying to think. No, that's. I was gonna say shaved ice, but I don't think that sounds correct, right? I'm trying to brainstorm a little bit more because I know there was I forget where she's from, but the lady that did crab fried rice and she got a Michelin star. Oh man, I want to look that up because I don't want to mess that one up. But I was gonna fried rice is guessingly is apparently like a street food. Probably most of the stir fry noodles. Um, Probably a good one. Oh, I bet you like another street food. Oh, I guess that's where my debate is. Famous. I guess that's where most of my debate is internally. Um, is what's the differentiating factor between street food and bar food. But I think bar food is specifically like stuff you can like just sip a beer with, not necessarily like a meal. Because I think street food can yeah. That was Bangkok. The lady from Bangkok. Okay. Wanted to make sure. Um, what was I saying? Oh, is that I think there's like a distinction between bar food and street food. I think I'm just getting confused. But that's a good question. Cause wings is technically like a bar food, right? Oh well. So now I'm even more confused. Cause what distinguishes bar food from street food? Cause I guess wings aren't street food, huh? So you know what? So I think bar foods would almost be like shy away from appetizers, and it's not a meal. So it's like one thing on the plate. And I think street food can be like your full meal. I think that would be more or less it. Cause I mean, you technically can't fill up on bar food, but it's not supposed to be. And I think that's where we can draw a definitive line. Cause I was gonna say a sandwich is a bar food, but like, it's not. Even though there's a very popular place that serves sandwiches, that's a bar. But I think that's slightly different from where we're going. Um, and I know I'm mostly just rambling, but like, I guess it's something I'm not sure if you guys think about, but I'm not too sure. Hmm. Hmm. But I don't know. I do have an up and coming trip, and I'm happy to try all the street foods and enjoy the atmosphere and spend some time getting to know someone. And yeah, I'm still kind of fuzzy right now. I'm trying to finish my laundry. I'm getting super real with you guys. I said I would literally work on the family truck. I haven't even touched that. Um, how many hours is that? I got 3 hours to do it. I'll be fine. You know what's trip? Before we end this podcast, like, so this is the weirdest thing, right? Technically, the country's in a giant heat wave. Where I work currently is over the mountain, and it's insanely hot over there. Like the other day, I left, and it was 105 degrees Fahrenheit, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, right? And then I crossed the mountain, it immediately drops 30 degrees, and I was freezing cold, and I'm pretty sure I'm getting sick because of it. I probably said it at the last podcast, or I've said it multiple times, because now I felt like deja vu. Um, but what was I gonna say? Oh, it's tripping me out that like we're midsummer. The only thing that feels like summer is how long the sun's been staying out, which is almost till 9 p.m., which is crazy because usually it's down by 8. And then that is still like 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And like, as nice as today is and the sun does feel warm, it's chilly as balls. Like, you can't see it, but like, earlier it was, I could cut diamonds. I keep forgetting I finished my drink. Sorry for slamming the mug, but gosh dang, dude. Like, I've been craving ceviche so much, but every time I'm home, it's too cold. And it's like, I want this so bad. It's like, but on that note, the challenge is make whatever you want, make sure it tastes good. I guess the challenge would be taste it 3 times and make someone else taste it until it's definitively good. That's a challenge. Simple as that. Share your food. Um, don't forget, you can also listen to this episode of the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcast. You can reach out to the podcast on Twitter at no_mods009. I'll try to update you guys on what's going to go on about the stream. Hopefully I do it sooner than later. Or I might just wait till you guys are out of summer, because there's a lot of summer events coming up, and you guys should experience that, and I don't want to take your time from that. So, until future notice, I'll make sure to post it on either Twitter and Instagram, and hope you guys stay updated on the newest episode on YouTube. Don't forget you can also subscribe to the YouTube channel and No Mods Podcast. Do be free to reach out, comment, subscribe. Share with your friends, share with your loved ones. Just, I'm trying to get into everybody's ears, you know? Even though it's just me simply rambling and being like, yeah, my dogs, laundry, food. um, and as I ramble on, thank you for listening to the new episode of the No Mods podcast. I'm your host, Jorge Flores. You can reach out to the podcast on Twitter at NO_MODS009. You can reach out to me on Instagram at adept_Eprin. And thank you for continuing support. Thank you for listening to another episode. And I hope to continuously see your guys' continuous support. And I'm going to say continuous one more time just because the rules of three. Take care, you guys.